equation of our existence, which sometimes is referred to as akasha, which is the history of all of our incarnations, both in human and pre-human existences. Has an exactness about it. There's something about the word equation and the fact that it has an equal word in it. And equal means the same, exactly as it should be. And so the equation of our existence is that our existence is set into a chemistry, a material chemistry, that is exactly as it should be. Everything about our material, biological chemistry is exactly as it should be. And we begin our life with what's called in youth, with what's called a biological enthusiasm. It's an enthusiasm that is built into the biology. And for every action, there is a reaction. So there is this process that goes on between our little baby's biological enthusiasm and the contradiction to that. And the contradiction to the biological enthusiasm is the experiential gravity. So as we utilize our biological enthusiasm, it lasts for a period of time. And then when that begins to become overrun by our experiential gravity, then we begin to go into decline. Biological enthusiasm in Chinese tradition is called Jing. That which you bring to it in every breath you take is called Qi. In Sanskrit, that which you bring to it is called prana. And what these words mean, Qi, prana, mean the force of life. But in our daily functioning, we do not always bring just the force of life to our moments. We oftentimes also bring experiential gravity. And experiential gravity are things like disappointment, discouragement, bewilderment, things that actually dampen your enthusiasm for the moment. And these are very much like heavy metals. If you know anything about the biology of taking in heavy metals, there's very few things that can clear hairy metals. That's the vocal anatomy getting into a knot. There's very few things that have been discovered that can actually eliminate heavy metals from the body. And so what heavy metals do is they compound. They go, layer upon layer upon layer. And now we're learning that there's ways in which we can cleanse heavy metals from the body. And there's also ways that we can cleanse the experiential gravity from the body, because the experiential gravity of doubt and disappointment and all of these things that tend to weigh us down can be released through the technologies of many things. And in this room, they are released through the technologies of Kundalini Yoga and Kundalini meditation and mantric chanting. And this is how you actually release that experiential gravity. How many have heard of ginseng? Now, the interesting thing about the ginseng plant is that what you use from the ginseng is the root. And the one thing that meta-science has known for a very long time, and now even science is starting to understand it, but Chinese medicine is a meta-science, Vedic, Ayurveda is a meta-science, Kundalini is a meta-science. But one of the things that they're noticing is that the shape of the food oftentimes denotes the part of the body that food, that particular food, is most applicable to. Cashew shaped very much like your stomach. Cashew, raw cashews, not roasted, salted. You know, roasted, salted are very beneficial for your tongue. But raw cashews, in moderation, are very beneficial for the lining of the stomach. Almonds. Almonds are very good for your eyes. And because your eyes are very close to the nerve endings for the liver in your face, almonds also have a good effect on your liver. Now, the skin of the almond is actually good for your liver. The actual component of the almond inside the skin is very good. You notice that I was resisting to use the word meat. Meat of the almond. Right? What would you think that a pecan and a walnut are good for? Don't they look like your brain? And so, these parts of your body that relate to the ways in which you take in for your body are very important, because what the food that you feed your body will either be feeding your experiential gravity, or in the form of ginseng. Ginseng, the ginseng root actually looks like a human body. It even has a head on it that is right below the ginseng stem. There's this bulb, and then there's these arms and this body and legs, and then there's all the little hair roots that come out. Ginseng is very good for the whole body. Now, one of the things that the meta-science of traditional Chinese medicine has found, that within all plants, within all animals, including the human animal, this balance between the youthful enthusiasm and the experiential gravity is something that is in balance until it becomes out of balance, and when it becomes out of balance, the decline takes place. In ginseng, the experiential gravity is replaced by some form, and in Chinese medicine they use a word that is equivalent to wisdom. That around the year 13 of a ginseng root, a form of wisdom kicks in which that root is wise enough now not to be bothered with experiential gravity. To no longer experience the opposition which must take place as opposition. And when that happens, that ginseng root can live to, quote unquote, forever. Now, they've found roots that are 200 years old. They've found roots that are 300 years old. You know, I mean, geologically, there's probably very difficult to figure out what forever actually means. But what it does mean is that that balancing force to the youthful enthusiasm starts to fade away. And the ability for the human life, for the ginseng life, is somewhat endless, because it's not being affected by the circumstance of each moment. It's being affected by its purpose. And its purpose is to grow and to exist. Two things. When you go on a road trip, does your car stop running on that road trip when you run out of gas? That's a trick question. I usually don't ask trick questions. That's a trick question. What do you do to make sure that your car doesn't stop running on your road trip when you run out of gas? Duh. You make sure you don't run out of gas. Right? You make sure that you have the car tuned, right? You make sure that the oil is changed, right? The spark plugs, the gaps are set properly. You make sure that all of your computerization now in today's cars and in the old analog cars, the timing belt and all of those things, are functioning properly. And there are time elements on when you should check certain things. You should check your oil every X thousand miles. Don't get that mixed up with your gas gauge because you probably can't go X thousands of miles on a tank of gas. So you have knowledge. You have certain technological knowledge about driving a car. You don't know how to build a car, but you definitely know that there's certain things that you must check and inspect. Correct?